Exercise 368 A and B. Halt, leave dog, turn, down on recall, front, return, forward. The purpose of this exercise is to demonstrate distance control. The complete video is not yet available, but I have parts of the exercise video along with the scoring to show you. The primary elements are for sign A, stay in place, and sign B, down on recall at a distance. At the first sign, the handler and dog halt in unison, and the handler cues the dog to sit. The dog sits in heel position, then the handler cues the dog to stay and walks to the second sign. The dog stays in place and in sit position until called by handler. For possible penalties on sign A, we have 5 points for moving out of place more than 50% of footprint, and 2 points if the dog does not stay in the sit position but changes to a down or a stand, and 1 point for crooked sit. At the second sign, the handler turns about and halts, facing the dog. The handler then calls the dog to come, and as the dog comes, the handler cues the dog to down, so that the dog downs approximately halfway between the first and second signs of the exercise. The dog should down no closer than 6 feet from the handler. Then the handler cues the dog to come to sit at front. After the dog comes to front and sits, the handler returns to heel position by going either directly to the dog's side or going around behind the dog as the dog remains in sit position. As the handler returns to heel position, the handler can cue the dog to heel and continue moving forward. And we apologize that the complete video is not yet available, but if we did have video, this video clip shows what it would look like for the handler to return to heel position by going behind the dog. You can also see exercise 356 for an example of the handler returning to heel position by going directly to the dog's right side. And here are the notes on this exercise. One note shows the distance that the signs are placed apart from each other. This also states that the dog should not be closer than 6 feet of the handler when down, otherwise the primary element has not been performed. And the handler may cue the dog to stay before the handler moves to return to heel position. For scoring on sign B, it's a 5-point deduction if the dog does not down on recall at a distance, and that means the dog needs to be more than 6 feet away from the handler when downing. If the dog downs within 6 feet of the handler, that's also 5 points off. And 2 points for things like the dog does not sit at front, and 1 point for crooked fronts or heeling faults.